Keruga Elementals versus Orzhov Martyr.
Our players in the winner's bracket, so
Yeah.
they are our undefeated table. The winner of this match is basically in the grand finals and will have to wait for the conclusion of the loser's bracket to have an opponent. So the privilege is they get some lunch, and they'll probably need it after this match, which we expect. I think we can already take some bets and some guesses.
Will a person deck?
Over under 2 hours.
You know what? Just I'll put in a timer, just to see how long it takes. A stopwatch.
We don't really expect any of these players to be able to take the match quickly. So Marcus, again, on Keruga Elementals, very reactive deck.
Well, Keruga Elementals, like, he does have the opportunity to omnet a person out through Kami of False Hope.
Does Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, shut down anything in Robert's deck? It shuts down the Ranger, Captain of Eos, which is an important component. But I think all of the other
Are sack abilities, right?
are
No
sack abilities.
ETBs.
Yes. Elish Norn is conveniently a 4/7, so it dies to Giant Killer.
Yes.
What a legend. What a legend. Maybe we'll see this Ashiok Dream Render come in as the win condition post board. Let's see. Seems like it would be a thing.
Pretty.
Let's see. I think Marcus goes down to 6. This shouldn't matter
No,
that
I think
much.
that's Robert, because Marcus would of course be having the companion
The
and
companion, yes, I'm
Thalia
sorry.
playmat with his
With the I'm always
betraying.
confused by the
Yeah, he betrayed Death and Taxes.
The Death
and
and Taxes
yeah,
Legion.
and is now playing the absolute opposite deck.
I don't think Mulligan's impact should impact the outcome too much.
I don't think so either, since both
of
players will
these
probably
players,
go through most of their deck.
Yes, at some point. I think the key is to have a functional hand. You don't get stuck on 1 or 2 lands and just lose the match that way. You just need to play it out and build a board.
Robert has the Mistfield Plains, which might be an actual thing.
That's true. That is true. Wow.
And will Marcus bring in the endurance in the second game so he can just
So
shuffle
he can
back
reshuffle his own deck.
Yeah.
What? Wow.
But we might also just see one of the two decks just go on the absolute beatdown plan.
Is this the world we're living in?
Omnet Fury on Marcus's side kills quick. Ranger Captain with a bunch of 1-drops is also pretty much of a clock. As we saw, Marcus's deck really likes to take a few beaters with the mana base.
Yeah, that's true. But I doubt he can realistically lose to pressure from a bunch of 1/1s, right?
Well, he doesn't play that many Furies main deck.
That's
There are
true.
only 2
That's
Furies.
true. Elish Norn conveniently also shuts down the Squadron Hawk search ability. Only 2 or 3 turns too late. These players know that time is going to be an issue, so you can see that they're already doing their turns out of
Well,
sequence more or less.
time is not an issue. Yeah, it can be long enough. I think they realize that the match is going to be long enough so that they can just take a few shortcuts.
Teferi murdered by a bird. I haven't read up on the lore, so I don't know if this is actually what happens. But for now, it's off the board. It did
Don't
get
you
some
think
value.
that the Great Planeswalker Teferi got killed by a Squadron Hawk?
All I know is that only one of these cards was the Bane of Standard for almost a year, and it wasn't the Planeswalker. Although, no, I'm lying. Teferi was also banned from Standard, right?
Was it? I have
Was
no
it?
idea. I never
Did
played
it
Standard.
make it? Did it make it to the end of
I
the
was in
format?
a bit of a hiatus during the War of the Spark period.
That's true. It
So,
might have made it through the entirety of the format. In which case, definitely Squadron Hawk
Yeah, it's definitely the broken card.
wins out.
It's so much card advantage. Just look at it go.
Gets the counter from the
Bone Scar.
the black 1-drop as
Yeah.
well. Already can tussle with the Fable token.
But no tussling.
Chooses
only beatdown.
not to.
These Hawks are fierce.
To be fair, going
Like,
very
it is-
wide against Marcus's deck is a problem. Yes, Fury can reset the board, but as you said, he doesn't play that many Furies, and what can he do? Solitude the 2/2 Hawk?
Yeah, like I think that Robert actually with the aggro pivot is doing what he's supposed to do.
Is this the world we're living in? Is this going to be the fastest match due to Squadron Hawk beats?
I would actually, like, we're here, 2 hour plus match. It's going to be a drag. It's going to be awful.
Could be done in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, Marcus answering what he thinks is the largest threat on the board, the 3/3. Does that fetch land on Robert's side already threaten idyllic range?
It's 4 planes, right?
4 planes, yes.
It's the same as Mystic Sanctuary.
It counts the Godless Shrine as well, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or is it 3? No, it's 3.
It's
planes.
3. It's 3. So it's already
same,
active. He could realistically fetch for the idyllic range and mess up the Fury if Marcus chooses to go greedy and go 2/1/1.
But Marcus has a lot of experience, right? Like,
still, idyllic range is very deep.
Here, idyllic range into exile on the token.
Wow.
It is actually Squadron Hawk time.
It's a 3-turn clock, right? Not just yet. Robert needs one more counter or one more attack. Marcus takes advantage of Robert being tapped out and on 5 mana deploys.
No,
just
3 mana, just the Fairy.
Just at the
Bouncing
Fairy.
a Hawk again, I guess. Yeah.
I think Robert is happy not to see the Fury here.
Yeah, so the Hawk taking out to the Fairy again.
Can't catch a break. Robert sacrifices the guy.
Yeah, the
whose
Bone
name-
Scar,
the
Scornblade Berserker.
Scornblade Berserker, right.
How could we forget?
How could we forget? And
The
then
last
deploys-
Hawk was absolutely destroyed by a Fire Ice. So the Fairy lives another day.
That is one bird that didn't migrate. Chose to stay, got destroyed by the weather.
Yeah.
But all in all, it was just a ruse set up by Robert, just
Yeah,
a
so he
distraction, so he can resolve his 3 mana enchantment, which is again sitting out there in the light. For people not very familiar with the deck, what the very bright glowy enchantment on the bottom of the screen does is at the end of Robert's turn, it can bring back directly to the battlefield a creature with cost exactly 1 from the graveyard.
Yes.
And Robert has a diverse suite of Martyr of Sands, this Berserker guy, the Kami that prevents all combat damage,
Yes.
thus keeping himself alive and looping it in. For now, he's using it as a Phyrexian Arena and just draws an
Well, it
extra
doesn't cost
card.
him mana.
Doesn't cost life, but costs 1 mana. That's true.
Yeah. Yes. And,
Who is ahead here?
well, Marcus has a board position.
Does it matter that much? Is it a better board position than 1 3 mana enchantment?
I honestly can't tell. I would say at this point, Marcus seems to be slightly favored just because he can put on some pressure.
That
Then
ballista,
again-
that ballista can kill the reflection. But what Marcus does is, in response, he leyline bindings the enchantment,
Mm-hmm.
and the ballista does trade with the reflection. So now I think I agree with the enchantment off the table. Marcus is at an advantage because the recurring aspect of Robert's deck has been turned
shut
off for
down.
now. Yeah. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to deal with an extra card or a million life every turn. That being said, Robert took advantage of the time he had it under his control, and
Yes.
he
Drew a lot of
back
cards.
up
Like
to a
Marcus is
full
on
grip. Yes.
2 cards, I think, and Robert has a really full hand of cards.
But maybe this is about to change. Marcus ends his turn by grabbing Keruga
Keruga.
from the command zone. Keruga at this point would draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I wrong? 5 cards.
The Fairy, Fable, Binding, Risen Reef. Yeah, so 5 cards.
5 cards. We are headed towards the degenerate
Stage of the game, yeah.
2 hour. We had faint hope with the
Yeah.
Squadron Hawk attacks, but alas. I'm happy to see it though. It sounds like
Yeah.
I'm complaining, but I am happy to see it.
We're Magic players. We always have to complain.
And
Card
speaking
X
of
is broken.
Ban idyllic range.
Yeah. Give me back to basics. Why don't I have a enchantment void mirror?
Void mirror.
Okay. Void mirror enchantment.
When Chalice is not good enough for you.
Yeah, but what I would really like is a Hushbringer enchantment.
That's true. That doesn't exist.
No.
There's no enchantment that stops CTBs. Wow. That's good. It means Magic still hasn't exhausted all its design space, so we will keep getting
battles.
Magic sets. Yes, battles.
We will get battles that stop and the battlefield triggers. Yeah, ban Planeswalkers. Of course, Chase the Mind Sculptor. Still fresh in everybody's memory.
Did I tell you that up to this weekend I was convinced that battles were actually enchantments? And I was always ready to Boseiju one of them. I thought, okay, the fool, he'll just attack into it and I'll Boseiju. I'll fizzle his whole attack, but this doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
I tried it on MTGO, and it just wouldn't highlight the battle as a target.
Then you were completely
and then I
flipping
realized,
out.
yes.
Marcus just cast the Hippo. Get the hand full again.
Refilled his hand. Points at the Ranger Captain, maybe. He could bounce it, but this just seems like a losing battle if he bounces it with his Teferi.
And the thing is, like Marcus seems to be putting up so much value, but like Robert,
does it even matter?
Yeah.
Does it even matter?
Yeah, like it's yeah.
Marcus attacks, enables Fatal Push. By this I mean Dead Gone. So he trades half of a Fable and one Dead Gone to take out the Ranger.
Draw more cards.
Was that the second enchantment that Robert drew? Oh, the legend. He drew a Fraben Inspector. There it is. Things are about to change now.
Yes.
Immediately cycles the Clue.
Ooh, the Sarah Paragon in hand.
Which is strange, right? Because with a full grip, you would expect to have more cards to deploy. But again, Robert is the expert on Martyr. Probably the only one on a 500-mile radius.
Yeah, we already heard that he is part of the Martyr Discord.
Yes.
I can only imagine how many people are watching us from.
I hope you.
So give a shout out if you're from the Martyr Discord.
Quality content. Freshly off the LMS win in Prague, RespectTheCat now faces his greatest enemy, Martyr.
And see, like, Robert not caring about board presence at all, just wants to get that grip full of cards.
He is at 12.
Ah, the Belcher Discord. Perfect. Yeah, Robert also a valid part of the Belcher and Titan Discord. The man just knows his combo decks.
Would Belcher have been a good choice for today?
Always.
I don't think the Keruga deck has many ways to interact on that axis, right?
No, I don't think so either.
No counter spells, no Piffing Needle, no...
I would have guessed that Robert was going to play Oops All Spells.
Oops All Spells.
Which is half Belcher, half...
It does lose to Endurance, though.
Yeah, but it also plays Belcher.
But it also plays Belcher, that's true. Hilarious. The board looks strong for Marcus. This is an attack.
Marcus also has a copy token. This is truly a sight to behold.
People who came prepared. So something has to happen. I can't imagine Robert conceding now with a full grip, right?
No, I don't think
so. I'm
so.
sure he has it under control.
Does he?
Let's see how many actual copies of Solitude he has. I see one at least. And one I think is more or less enough. The problem is if he allows Marcus to untap, he untaps and can make copies of the Risen Reef to get even more value.
He gets a fetch land back with the Paragon.
With the Sarah Paragon. Here's my thinking.
Yes.
Maybe I'm going too deep on this. Robert knows that this match cannot end on damage. So he's baiting Marcus into activating and copying his Risen Reef, so he decks out first.
Yeah, like a robot doesn't really have that much fear of decking out with the Mistfield planes.
With the planes, that's true. That's true. And I think Marcus can't interact with the land. He has no Field of Ruin effects.
And he's not playing Vindicate anymore on the
Yes,
sideboard.
that's true. Exactly.
Plus, he can also bring back the land with the Sarah Paragon.
That's true. That's true. We are truly watching one of the matches of Magic.
Keruga leaving the game.
Exile. I didn't see what Robert pitched to Solitude, but I think it doesn't matter. It was one of the Squadron Hawks, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a...
Of course it was. Of course it was.
Valiantly he fought in the first 3 turns. Now only to get thrown away.
It's
same
actually
fate.
good value. Killed
It
one,
is.
Killed one Teferi in combat, basically contributed to killing a Fable. Not bad. And that is another Ranger captain. Marcus takes advantage of this moment to hardcast. It's a hardcast Solitude, right? He hits a Sacred Foundry, further getting closer and closer to decking out.
Yeah, but the problem is now that you can copy Solitudes, right? So that's an easy way to answer all the threats that
That's true.
a robot puts out.
If Robert has another Solitude,
Oh no, he goes for the Risen
he
Reef.
goes for the Risen Reef. Marcus is convinced that he needs value to win this match.
Or he has another Solitude in hand. Oh, there's the Fury. Too. Not even hardcast.
Not even hardcast.
Elish
Okay,
Norn,
and the
okay.
hardcast Elish Norn.
Yeah, that's a clock. So now I would be worried if I was... a
We
robot.
know the Wrath of God isn't main deck. You know what I think he has?
The overloaded
with Zeb
exile,
Abandon.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh my
it's
God.
going to happen. It has to happen, right?
Yeah.
Robert doesn't care at all.
Where did the
about
Solitude go? Oh, he bounced the Solitude. He bounced the Solitude with the Fairy.
Smart to keep. Oh no, he's replaying it. Oh no, he's going full value.
Oh my god, he's exiling both of it.
Remember that all of these triggers are doubled
Double,
by
yeah.
Elish Norn.
Yes.
So he has 2 Risen Reefs in play with
4
an
triggers,
Elish Norn.
yeah.
So each evoked elemental actually nets him 4
I think
triggers.
Robot is just enjoying himself
Very
now,
happy to see
seeing
this,
that
yes.
he is just slamming through his deck. Another
But this
double
is
frog.
terrible, right? Marcus is just decking himself out completely now.
Yeah,
Okay, he finds the Omnath. This is why he was evoking everything. He wanted to find the Omnath, which, if he hits enough lands, would
That's
make the attack lethal.
yes.
This was it. This was Marcus's plan all along. So if he finds one land
Yeah, I think
now,
he's just gonna go for enough omnets with the double triggers on the...
yes, this was his plan, to actually attack for lethal this turn. Which is very smart.
We are not big brain enough for this.
Not big brain enough. So the only card this loses to is Solitude into untap Winds of Abandon, which maybe Robert has. How do you feel about casting 8,
He can't cast Solitude.
but casting 8 plus... oh, that's true, because the
Fairy.
Elish Norn.
The Fairy and Hellish Norn.
And Elish Norn, that's true.
Oh, the 2 damage from the Fire Eyes. So now we just need one more Omnet trigger.
But isn't it lethal already?
No, he only has 2 Risen
Right,
Reefs that can
he
attack.
only has 2 Risen Reefs. This puts Robert to 2. Oh my god.
Look at the pile of junk.
Does Marcus have more than 8 cards in hand? I will say probably.
He had 1. Oh, he has the untapped fetchland, which triggers the thing twice.
Triggers twice, so he gets mana, but not the damage.
Yeah, and then it's
He
just
needs
hoping
to
for a
evoke-
land, right?
Yes, he needs to evoke another.
Oh no, he's going to discard.
Of course, because he
Oh,
needs
yes,
to do
yeah.
it on... but
No,
does he have?
No, he doesn't have.
No,
an
he
untapped
doesn't
fetchland.
have an open fetch land. Robert goes to 1, because why not?
Yeah, 1 is the same as 2, right? Like if he has Fire Eyes,
Finds
he has
the,
Fire Eyes.
Finds the planes. And I think the wins is 6 or 7 to cast with Overload. 6. 4 and double white.
Guys, top 4 is clear. I play against Steiner.
Thank you.
Should we start yet or wait?
You can start. This match is going to take 2 hours.
Our other match.
There's some life gain.
There is some life gain.
He will reveal 1, 2, 3. 4 cards.
Puts him conveniently out of fire ice range. And it seems like it was all calculated. 1 life was all he needed to survive this.
Now Marcus is probably not gonna search for any lands because he doesn't have any basics, I'm guessing.
He might still have at least 1 in his deck. I can't tell right now from the pictures. Everything is Infinity, Galaxy, whatever. Okay, so there's the Omnath. And it is true. Maybe there are no fetchables left in his deck.
Oh, and he's going for the count. What are we saying? Stop the count, Mircea. 4 cards in the library.
We knew it would happen.
We predicted it. A
beater. A 3/3 double striker. So this represents a 2-turn clock.
I can't imagine that Robot does. He has the Abiding Grace in hand. So at least a Martyr to block and gain some life.
Yes. Which he can activate even through Teferi because it's an activated ability, not a spell.
Oh, he has the Emeria in
He
play.
has the Emeria in play as well.
Yeah, I think it's the one in the glare on the bottom.
In his upkeep, exiles the Fury. Just needs to find an answer to the Omnath. He draws a Solitude. I think this is done. Marcus is playing 2 copies of Elesh Norn in his deck.
Yes.
So it is still possible, if Omnath lives, that he gets another big turn.
No, not with the small amount of cards in this library.
Of
right?
cards
and there's
and
the Abiding
lands
Grace
left.
bringing
Yes,
back another Martyr. Yeah, I think this is...
No Grace at least, but also no Omnath.
Yeah, but he still has the Emeria alive, I think.
Where is the lair of the Hydra when you need it?
I think Marcus took a chance on all the triggers, hoping to get 2 Omnaths with lands.
Yes.
It just didn't happen.
Yes. What he needed exactly was the second Omnath.
Yeah, but now he has to draw a card of that.
Oh my god.
Is it happening?
I doubt it. He doesn't have fetchables in his deck anymore. Also, there's no Risen Reef yet. Marcus just passes. And we're probably going to see Robert winning without ever going into the combat zone past
he did.
3.
Did you forget about the Squadron Hawk beatdown? Plan A.
Double Solitude, exiles 2 creatures.
Yeah, but is it enough? Like the thing is, you can still block with a Solitude, gain 3 life,
bring it back.
Yeah, bring it back.
Bringing it back doesn't do much.
I know, but
the Elesh Norn. He
still
actually needs another answer to the Elesh Norn, but it's still a permanent jump blocker. And if he brings back the Martyr...
Was 3 cards yet?
3 or 5. Did he forget the Emeria trigger, or does he have nothing in his graveyard?
That might also be a possibility. There are no targets left.
It's possible. But he did sack the Martyr.
Yeah.
I doubt it ever got exiled. Let's see.
And it's also very unlike a robot to forget about the trigger.
Marcus, I think we discussed it at some point, that the Omnaths from the Storm Championship have no text, right?
Yeah.
And it's a bit difficult to play them. So imagine the degenerate turn that he had 2 turns ago with Elesh Norn and everything. It's probably a bit difficult to explain without having the actual text on Omnath. Because Omnath says if this is the first time the ability has resolved or the second time, and how it doesn't matter how you stack them with the Elesh Norn, it always happens in the same way, the first one, the second one. So I think it just pays to have the clean...
Martyr.
Now he brought back the Martyr. He might have forgotten 1 turn, right?
Might cost him, because he's close.
He is close to that. That's 11 power on Marcus' side. Okay. Never even close. But Marcus is still taking game actions.
Yeah, Marcus knows he doesn't have to worry about a timer.
All upside, right? He gets to see more random cards in Robert's deck. Knows to be prepared for the future.
Do you think he'll be discarding and drawing cards with the Fable in his next turn? Like, I would just do it.
I go
Purely
out on my terms.
Yeah. Solitude is live again. And Marcus starting to back it up.
Milling out count 1. I feel like
this match only took... How long did it take? Let's see. Only 25 minutes.
Only 25 minutes. So
that's the power of Elish Norn. It brings you closer to death.
Right.
Okay, so I did dig this deep because I really knew, okay, I definitely win this if I find my Omnavs, but the unfortunate part was, I guess all my 3 Omnavs were in my bottom 15 cards of my deck, which, yeah, I still had the Fires in hand, and I would have had Lethal, but, you know, I had all my lands out of my deck, all 3 last Omnavs still on the bottom of my deck, so I lost this one to decking out, but like Max Mircea said, I don't think that's usually how it goes. Usually I should win this before decking out. But yeah, just unfortunate.
No, this is not. Although it might look like
it's the
Martyr
winner's
Sands is a loser's bracket deck. It is a winner's bracket deck. So the winner of this match will make it to the grand finals, and will need to wait for the conclusion of the loser's bracket to see their opponent. So both of these players are 2-0 so far. He's going to 5 now, if I paid attention correctly.
Yeah, I think he mulliganed twice.
We said in the first match, when he also mulliganed to 6, that the mulligan isn't that bad, since the game goes so long,
yes,
and both players are able to recoup the card advantage and see the cards they need. But maybe going to 5 on the draw gives Marcus the chance to aggro him out.
Yeah, but Marcus doesn't play any aggressive drops under 3 mana, right? Like the Risen Reef is not what I would call an aggressive drop, but
it's what enables it.
Yeah.
If he casts the Risen Reef on 3 and he's lucky enough to hit a land, then he can go Omnath plus fetch land for the 5 mana on turn 4 and also bring in the Elish Norn.
Yes.
And I think this is the one sequence, if Robert doesn't have a Solitude, that really gives him a huge advantage on board.
Indeed.
The winner has to lose twice at the finals, yes. They play 1 match against the winner of the loser's bracket on the play, because they get the privilege from being from the winner's bracket. And then if the player from the loser's bracket manages to win, they play another match, this time with seedings coming into the top 8, deciding the play or draw.
See, Robert going for the Mistfield Plains early on.
The perfect mana base. Now he has it safe. There's no way it gets...
No sneaky Ashiok.
Yes, no way it gets milled.
Like, what do you do as Marcus? Do you keep the Ashiok in hand for later? Or do you just, like, try to play it early, turn off the Ranger Captain, the fetch lands? Like, it's...
You see the black in Robert's deck. What can you be afraid of? Some Thoughtseize effects, something that can nab it from your hand? Probably not. And not in this matchup. Boarding in a single Thoughtseize against a deck that goes for so much value is not a winning proposition.
Yeah, we can show you the mono white list. We'll just put it up here for a second. Unfortunately, over the playing field.
I'm sure we won't miss much action for a
Yeah,
couple
we'll
of
have
turns,
enough to see. So
the usual suspects: Martyr of Sands, Ranger Captain of Eos, plus a 5th copy, the classic Ranger of Eos, to tutor them from the deck. 4 Solitude, 4 Squadron Hawk, and 4 Thraben Inspector to hold the fort.
Perfect. Then we'll open up the playing field again. What did we miss?
The Scorn.
Reef. Oh no, the Fury on the Ranger Captain.
Fury killed the Ranger Captain, pitching another copy of Fury. So already Marcus 2 threats down.
Yeah. Like, it's actually insane that we're not counting cards, right? We're counting threats.
Right? Let's see. Fable does manage to flip. Robert, again, this game on a mulligan to 5. So he's opting for just drawing cards for a few turns. I think taking a few tempo swings and combat faces to the face.
What are these tempo swings? Like, I mean, it's a 2/2 Gobo that's now getting exiled. I think purely for the mana.
Yeah.
In response to the Teferi. Because
Otherwise, it would not be possible.
And this, of course, blocks down the attack. Oh, he bounces the Risen Reef to draw a card. Marcus apparently didn't learn his lesson from the first game. He's just going for the grindy value. Robot doing the same, but...
it almost worked out for him, I have to admit.
Yeah, it was so close, right?
So
like,
close.
if you just
Only
hit the second
one life, 1 point of life.
Yeah, I mean, it was a calculated play, for sure. But, yeah, it's... the decks... It's really cool to see Magic from a different angle.
Do you think if he wins this, Robert changes his MTGO handle to Respect the Hawk?
Respect the Hawk, yeah. As an ultimate showdown for...
It would be, right? We're here for the banter.
Or is it Bob 49?
Yeah.
Bob 49 Hawk time. It would be the greatest thing to just change his name to Respect the Hawk and then just scout out when Marcus is playing and then just try to queue into him.
Keep queuing into him, yes. So Robert goes for
Abiding Grace.
Abiding Grace, which is again a tempo negative play because he's not really impacting the board too much. Under no real threat. He's not afraid. I know he has a Solitude, so he was not concerned at all about the possibility that Marcus draws infinite cards with Risen Reef. Just doesn't care.
He gets another Risen Reef and an Omnet of the double triggers. Cast Omnet.
Let's see how many lands he hits.
Another
None.
Risen Reef. And draw for the Omnet. So he has all his Risen Reefs in hand now, right? Because I think I saw two or three.
I think I saw two, yeah.
And the beatdowns continue.
As long as Elish Norn doesn't hit the board.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I think it doesn't change Robert's game plan too much.
Yeah, you don't realize how hard Omnet with Elish Norn goes until you actually played against it once or seen it here on stream. Like, it's an absolute engine.
This is the second copy of the enchantment. This time it makes it through to the end step and manages to get some value.
Yeah.
Can Marcus actually kill Robert now? He has the Teferi. He knows nothing fishy is going on, more or less. What does the black land of the cycle do?
It puts a card from your
the
graveyard on top of your library.
Yes, the granny's hut.
Which is
cottage.
Which
is cottage, yes.
Which is cottage cheese.
So, Omnath. First trigger, second trigger, nets him 4 mana. No damage.
Yeah, well, like, fire.
Fire you. Taking the corporate route. Fire you again, down to 10.
Wouldn't have been
Is
better
this flurry of burn? Okay.
Like, it would have almost been better to fire the dude, right? So Omnet could get through. Because now he just chump blocks with the dude.
Chump blocks 4 instead of just 1.
2 damage from the fire.
Instead of 2. Yeah, that's true. Let's see if
this life
Robert stabilizes at 2 life again. It might be relevant.
And if Marcus loses, we'll never stop giving him shit about this, right? You missed the line.
Still, no Elish Norn on the board on Marcus's side means all of Robert's Solitudes are live.
Yes.
He's not in a rush to cast them.
Nope.
He's waiting until he's in actual mortal peril.
Yeah, but we did not see the Hawks this game.
Didn't we? We didn't.
No.
This would have been the perfect turn to play after the mulligan to 5. You know what they say, he only needs 1. So Ranger Captain
Giant Killer
acts as a Shriekmo impersonation.
Yes.
Basically killing Omnath as ETB.
And Marcus just saying, I don't care, we're gonna go for the...
Marcus pitching another threat.
And, yeah.
That's one solitude he's not taking back. Could he have done this in response to the Giant Killer?
Theoretically, but you're never hitting 3 lands, right? Because you wanna
there's no...
you wanna hit 3 lands.
Yes, there's no way you're hitting 3 lands. Copies Risen Reef, 3 triggers.
Like, this
Fire
deck
Ice.
is so disgusting to play against. Like, it just gets so much value. Just look at... Ugh. Oh, he's not bouncing the... Bounce the Risen Reef, play the Risen Reef.
Takes Robert to 8, which conveniently is 2 Omnath activations, 2 Omnath third trigger, third ability activations. I say conveniently, but this is not really in the cards, it seems.
That was an Elish Norn, I think.
A
Fable and
a
the Flooded
fetch
Strand
land.
that he takes in hand to have a land drop to play out.
I think he's on 5 lands already. Ideally, we would also be keeping track of the fetchables.
Yes. In an ideal world, but
I see 10 lands that can tap for mana there on Marcus's side, and I think he's playing 26 lands, of which 13 fetches. So there shouldn't be more than 3 lands that can tap for mana in his deck.
Yes.
Probably another Cavern, which is not fetchable.
The Cavern is in play
Both.
already.
Does he have 2 in the list?
Quick check.
Yes, 2
caverns.
caverns. 2 caverns. So probably 1 cavern, 1 forest, and maybe 1 other land left to fetch, which is relevant in case Omnath does hit the battlefield.
Yes. So the Sarah Paragon brings back the Giant Killer, which is on lockdown duty.
It is an answer to the Elish Norn, even through the Elish Norn's no ETB abilities.
Yeah,
But
he
you do
also
have
turns
to-
off the idyllic range ETB, which is also... Oh, it's also
the
so
double-
disgusting,
the
right? Like a
double binding,
Leyland
yes.
binding, proccing twice.
So this matchup is all about Elish Norn, it seems.
And Marcus takes it with damage.
We were wrong. There was one game not decided on decking out.
Yes.
We were wrong. So far, great matches, very interesting deck choices.
Yes. The Traben Inspector.
Already,
And now
take
we
that
see
Ragavan.
the hand-drawn clue token, yeah. It's such a polarizing view, seeing Marcus with his beautiful custom cat tokens, his copy tokens. Clearly a last-minute decision on Robert's part to play the Traven Inspector. Because otherwise he would have brought the clues, right?
Definitely prepared. What do you think he had prior to this? Probably a Sacred Cat, right? The 1 mana, 1/1 lifelink that comes back from the graveyard on its own.
The
It has to
embalming
be.
cat.
Yeah. Ice,
Ice the land.
tapping the land instead of killing the legendary Thraben Inspector. Keeps going in for 1.
Yeah, is the Traven Inspector going all the way, Mircea? Oh, shocking himself. This clock is starting to look serious.
And Marcus plays a 3-drop that cannot tussle in combat with the 1/2 Thraben
Yeah.
Inspector. Coral
it
was
drew
never
him-
a
it-
good matchup for people. We always destroyed it.
Yeah, it drew him a card, but so did the Traven Inspector. Yeah.
The 2 players at parity showing the best that their decks can muster up to turn 3. On a more serious note, interestingly, Risen Reef didn't hit a land.
No, which is
So
very unfortunate for
the
Marcus.
possibility of turn 4 Omnath into fetch land into Elish Norn is no longer in the cards for now, which gives Robert time to keep deploying.
To develop, yeah.
So Robert searches for a Thraben Inspector, which he
Instead of going the
Immediately
beatdown plan,
pitches.
he just... I'm disappointed.
I'm disappointed too. Instead of drawing a card, it goes down a card.
Yeah.
Maybe Robert felt that
Ooh,
Marcus needs
Marcus
land
got the
drops.
fury of the...
and goes for the 2/2, which
Well, isn't the Traven Inspector 1/2?
it's a
and the
1/2. That's
3/3,
true. That is
so
true.
The
Traven Inspector is
lives.
still alive, keeping the Reason Reef at bay. Does Marcus actually have a land drop as well? He does. Okay. So Marcus firing on all cylinders now. He's about to untap with 5 lands.
Mm-hmm.
Grip
Reason
full of
Reef in
cards. Yep.
To be fair, it's not that much MH2 these days anymore, right? It's just the elementals.
Just the elementals.
Omnet, Binding, Fable.
Yes, these are all standard legal cards.
Get sacked. Will you
Gets
also
sacked.
also the Traven.
He needs the land, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Missing a land drop, I think, in the first 4 or 5 is probably
Really
a
hard.
death sentence.
Is that a Vindicate in Robert's hand? Yeah, that's a Vindicate, I think.
Are both players playing Vindicate?
No, Marcus isn't playing Vindicate
Marcus
anymore.
isn't.
Let me just quickly
'Cause
check.
I know Robert had
2 Vindicates in the sideboard, yeah.
Vindicates, yes, Vindicates. We haven't seen the Fracture yet. Marcus is... So Robert is hoping to see an Elishnorn now. Marcus is clued in by this because Robert played a Ranger Captain and didn't search for a Giant Killer.
Yeah.
Losing the 2/3 Thraben Inspector. Ooh, big.
Just to draw a card.
Just to draw a card.
Like
Of
the
course.
Traven Inspector got on some work.
Yeah, it did some damage, which is about to
But
get
now
undone
it's
by
Omnet
the
and it's
Omnet.
basically all turns of Traven Inspector beatdown is just gone. I so dislike Omnet as a card.
This is just the second trigger, right? This makes
Yes.
4 mana. And since the Steam Vents comes into play tapped, I think we're not going to see the Elishnorn. Huge addition from that set.
Yeah.
Initially,
I think the card is...
you might frown
bit
because it's
pushed.
it's a 5 mana
and
creature.
4 damage with the Risen Reef trigger.
4 damage, nice.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Marcus's deck plays so many cards that I greatly dislike playing against because they feel so unfair.
Unlike Martyr of Sands.
Yes. Yeah, like Omnet feels so unfair to play against.
That's true.
And Elishnorn feels unfair.
In his
The
defense,
Fairy feels unfair.
in his defense, it's a deck built to leverage Omnath to the max.
Yes.
It has the Risen Reef interactions. It has a lot of 5 drops to be cast off the fetch land. Serra Paragon keeps developing Robert's mana. He didn't naturally have a 5th land drop, which means his hand is all gas. Fury
Doesn't have the idyllic range. Is it in play already?
Yes, it is. Idyllic range in play.
I love how we both like, oh, Richard, look at that. That's the idyllic range.
Could have otherwise saved his 3/4 Serra Paragon. He could have made it a 4/5 and basically negated the Fury's ability.
I think Marcus has this in the bag.
Is this going to be a Wrath of God? Robert needs 1 more land for the Winds of Abandon. Oh, he cycles an Omnath.
Marcus is not having it. He's just going for the land drops.
Does he have... He has 1 fetch land for the mana.
Mm-hmm.
And now if he has 1 elemental,
That just has to hit one
he
land
just
drop.
needs to hit 1 land off of the next 2 cards to deal the last remaining 3 points of damage. And Robert cannot answer with a Solitude because there's no other creature on his side of the board to Solitude.
Ooh, pitching the Solitude. Going for the maximum chance to hit a land.
And that's
And he
lethal.
has it.
Wow. Clocking in under 1 hour?
We are clocking in at 51 minutes. So
Wow.
wouldn't even have gone to turns.
Wouldn't have even gone to turns in a GP
Yeah, well, it would have
setting.
gone to turn.
Maybe. Wow. Unexpected.
Yeah.
A very good turnaround from Marcus.
Yeah.
We were complaining a bit about the lack of endurance, but he didn't even need it.
No.
He went
never.
full beatdown.
Yeah. And he got there.
And
Alright, so I got there. I do think this is a good matchup, and yeah, throwing the game 1 surely hurts, but I got game 2, game 3. So 2 matches or more coming. I'm now the 3-0 winner of the winner bracket, Now we have one more game in the losers bracket and then the grand final. So look out for them. See you guys next time.